Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and Miniature live stream. What we're going to be doing today is a variety of different things, but I do have my Grand Duchy of Warsaw / Polish troops here that are on commission. We'll be working with those if time permits, but I am going to be preparing some of my 15 millimeter figures. These are light infantry, the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the 4th Light Infantry. We're going to be putting them on popsicle sticks and possibly priming them as well, because we're going to I'm going to be working on both today. Got a little hiccup there. I also have a runny nose today. I don't know what's going on with my nose. I don't think it's sinuses. And I don't feel like I've got a cold or anything. I just have like this sieve, like all my sinuses are just draining out. Let me see what kind of a drink I've got available over here. Alright, I'm gonna break out a 0-calorie monster. I love that white top. I understand the white, this all got a texture to it and stuff, but that pure white on the top just, I don't know, it just looks clean, you know what I mean? And the black pop top. Just wet my whistle here. Plus, hopefully it'll give me a little energy for today. Okay, well, I've got all my packages. I've been shipped. I don't have any additional packages. Now, this is the 4th Regiment was part of Foy's division. Not Campy, but maybe Soy's Brigade, I think. And, or maybe it's Jammit. I don't remember. But I had gotten out the 100th battalions as well. I got the 1st of the 100 and the 2nd of the 100. Now you see they're in these Ziploc bags, and they've got little labels in the bag. I went through all my French Army figures, my bags and bags of Old Glory or whatever, and I dumped them out, and I separated them into units, and then I put them in these bags so that when I got ready to do them, I could just pull the bag out and all the figures would be available, and I just put them together and go. Right? So basically it was like a preemptive preparation. So I figured I'd do the whole brigade, right? I said I'll get out the 100, I'll get out the 4th, and we'll do all 4 battalions. And then I got to thinking that's fine if I was doing them by themselves, but I'm going to be doing them in conjunction with this Polish unit, and I don't want to overwork myself, right? So I said, let's just do 2 battalions, because if you watched me on stream before, I've always said that I don't like doing 4 battalions at once. It just seems like it's too much. But these 2 and those 2 would have been fine by themselves. But if I had to do those 4 and this 1.5, because this is 9 bases, right? Might even be more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm counting wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's 9 bases. That's almost 2 battalions worth of figures. So, so I slapped myself and said, "Stop, Derek. Stop when you're ahead. Let's just do the 4th Light, and then that brigade will be half finished, and then I can do the 100th battalions later." Now I could have done a couple of other battalions that would finish off some other brigades, and then it would give me a sense of completion of those other brigades. But I said, nah, what the hell. Okay, so before I pull these out, clean them off, go into my sink and wash them. I should go into my sink and wash them now so they'll be drying while we wait, while I do these. I don't remember if I've already washed them or not. I have a feeling that I did already wash them, but I might not have. So, guys, give me like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. I'm going to take a 5 minute break. I'm going to put that in the chat so everybody will get a chance that pops in to see that I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Be back in 5. Washing figs. 9:15. Back at 9:15. All right, guys, give me just a few minutes. I'm gonna go wash these, and I'll be right back. Soap and water. Soap and water. Wish I could take you guys my sink with me, show you how I do this. Camera cable is not that long. All right, be right back. All right, guys. Gave him a good thrashing. Now, unfortunately, I put both bags in one bowl and washed them that way. So I'm going to have to go back through these guys and separate them, which I'm going to have to do anyway because I still need to file the bottoms and clean off any flash or mold lines or anything. So okay, let those guys dry a little bit. I could even do that. That'd be fine. Get that out of the way. Okay, so there should be 24 figures. So if I take this and go to, let's say, from 10 to 24, that's 12. Well, 22 is 12. Okay, hold on. What am I talking about? 10, 24. There we go. Okay, that should wind up being 24. Now I'm going to split it down the middle. Because this is about a 3/4 inch, which is almost exactly 20 millimeters wide. So by splitting it down the middle, I'm making a 10 millimeter strip. And then I'm going to cut it at every 10 millimeters. So it should make 10 millimeter squares, which is all you need for a 15 millimeter model. I believe. Now I think this knife is getting dull, mainly because when I'm trying to strip models during my rebasing, when I'm trying to take them off of their old bases, it's becoming increasingly hard to cut them off. And so I think that this blade is getting dull. And so before I go to rebase any new models, I'm going to switch this blade out. Now these are not X-Acto knife blades. This is a third-party blade, but I've found that it works just as good, if not better actually, than an X-Acto blade. And you buy them in a lot of, well, I did. I bought them in a pack of 100 blades. I think it was a 100. Okay. Looking for the blade pack. It was 120 actually blades by Nick Pro. You can see you get all these blades in there. So I don't, and it wasn't very expensive. It might have been $10, maybe less, maybe 15, somewhere around there, $10 or $15. Which is way cheaper than your X-Acto blades. Alright, so now what I do, while those figures are still drying in there, I change my glasses so that I can see what I'm doing. I should have changed them out before I cut that in half, but that's okay. I might struggle with these fingertips. Mainly these fingertips are covering up some bandages so that they don't come unraveled or get dirty or whatever. So what I do is I go and I peel off these 10mm squares and I put them, I stick them down, and you can see where some of these have already been. And you can see I don't put them just straight up and down, I put them at like a angle. Now if I put 8 models on one stick, basically 2 bases worth of figures. Per stick. Yeah, that didn't cut all the way through, huh? Okay. So 3 sticks would equal a unit. 6 bases. That one was cavalry, but no big deal. And I'm just eyeballing the gap. So it's not going to be perfect. So just FYI, I like to do the ends first. And then I kind of eyeball where the center is. and put one on each side of the center. It helps me keep like an even spread. It just helps me eyeball it. Okay, that's 1 unit's worth of sticks. So this is not really going to be part of my dev blog. I've got a dev blog lined up this week. It might be tomorrow. Might be Wednesday. No, it's not going to be Wednesday. It'll probably be tomorrow. And what it'll be is talking about movement, command and control and movement. I'm working on command and control right now because I have shooting and I have melee already resolved. I've got that resolved. Now I need to work on movement and command and control. We're going to work on that tomorrow for marshals and generals. So if you're interested in that, come back and join me tomorrow. But basically, I've decided to go away from activations. Well, I don't know. That's not the right wording. I'm not getting away from activations. I'm getting away from limited activations. Let's rephrase it. So there's not going to be any pip cost or dice rolls or card draws or anything like that to determine who gets activated. It's going to be purely, are you in command? And if you are, you get to activate. But now what I need to do is define what does that mean? You know, what does being activated consist of? Remember, I thought the pip idea would be a really good idea, a good way to resolve who gets to go, as well as how far you get to go and stuff like that. And I thought I had a really easy math system to figure out how many points it would cost to move and stuff like that. But through limited playtesting, like I did most of it in my head, but some of it on the table, off camera and stuff, it became apparent that all I was doing was incorporating a rule for the rule's sake, and not it didn't dramatically enhance the game experience. All it did was slow the game down. And that was not what these rules are meant to do. These rules are meant to speed the game up. So I'm going through and trying to figure out like what was slowing the game down. Well, having to draw the cards takes only a few seconds, but that was a few seconds that didn't need to exist. Okay, throwing dice. Throwing dice only takes a few seconds, but it's a few seconds that don't need to exist. So it might only save 2 or 3 minutes, but it's 2 or 3 minutes that did not need to exist. These guys will continue their dry as I continue my cleaning of them. Okay, so one of the first things to do is make sure I get a garbage pail below me, between my legs, so that any loose metal shavings, or when I'm rebasing, any wood or flock will make sure it falls into the bin and not on the floor. I can't prevent all of it, but I'll prevent what I can. And all we're going to do is just clean every model, and then what I'll do is I'll go in and reorder everything. Okay. This guy doesn't look like he's wearing a greatcoat. That's good. None of these guys might be wearing greatcoats. He's good, minus the base. A little bit of scrape. Okay, this is a sprue cutter I got from Armory, I do believe, a long time ago. But it's good for cutting little pieces of metal. There we go. See, like on this bicorn, there's a little extra metal under the bicorn in front of the guy's face. These guys don't have a whole lot of mold lines. Now this guy's got a great coat on. Yep, he's wearing a great coat. He's the officer, obviously. Okay. This eagle bearer wearing a great coat. I say that because we're doing Waterloo / Quatre Bras and rained a lot, so they might be wearing their greatcoats. I'm getting water on my hands. That's telling me these guys aren't completely dry. But that's okay. The only thing I've noticed is there's a mold line on the top of their shakos, which kind of look like they have shako covers. No, not this guy. He's wearing a regular old shako. And then there's a chasseur. He's got the Busby, or what's the other name for that hat? Colpack. He's good. Okay, this guy's wearing bear skin. You know he's a grenadier. A little bit of flash on his bayonet. Yep, it looked good. Remember, all these guys will have to get their bases trimmed. Now, I hate the models where they're leaning so far forward that they won't stand up. They constantly lean forward. Because the base wasn't built for them to be leaning so far forward. So what I wind up having, okay, this guy's firing. So what I wind up having to do is use like a quick grip type glue, like maybe a tacky glue or some other glue that grabs the model really fast. So that it doesn't get an opportunity to fall forward. Boy, this guy's like way forward. You know he's gonna fall forward. I'm looking for anything that I could trim. I'm just not finding it. Up the top of their Shakos. And I got to be careful not to drop the figure down into my trash bin, because then I have to go digging through the trash to find them. Which I've done a couple of times already, and I'm going to tell you it's disgusting. Because I've got tea bags in there and candy wrappers and popcorn bags and whatever else I've got down in there. Okay, this guy's got like no hat. He's got a, that's supposed to be a bandage? Maybe he's got a bandage on his head. Now you can tell that these are lights because of their epaulets. Except for the grenadiers. The grenadiers are just straight grenadiers. They look like any other grenadiers. Bearskin caps, plumes, sword. But they're like musketeers, or they're regular line dudes. They're regular line, but they have epaulets. And their pom-poms are not gigantic like your normal voltigears or grenadiers, right? They're just normal pom-poms. And the guys with coal packs, you pretty much know what they are. They're the chasseurs, or the voltigears of the light units. They're called chasseurs. I rebased one of my brigades, French brigades, and when I was doing it, I realized that when I had washed the models, because I always apply a wash, as one of my final steps. When I washed those, their pom-poms became very dark. So like the purple and the orange, you almost couldn't tell the difference. So I went back over them with a brighter orange and a lighter purple just to bring out the colors. And I said, well, while I'm doing that, I might as well touch up on the blue. And when I did the blue, I said, you know what? Why don't I touch up on some of these guys' uniforms and give them their highlights? And I highlighted their uniforms, and I did the yellows and the reds and the yellow and the greens as well. And then I looked at them and I was like, oh man, that really made a huge difference. Just the pom-poms and the blue highlight. So I'm probably going to want to go over all my regiments and just basically touch up, give them like little touch-ups on things that I think the wash may be ruined or darkened too dark. Yeah, a lot of these guys are leaning forward so much. I don't want to use super glue on the bases. Mainly because you never know. 3 years from now, I might want to rebase them again. Now I'm being hypercritical of the Shakos. Because it looks like that might be a fault in the actual mold. Maybe the mold is so old that it's starting to develop a gap around where the Shako is. Because everywhere else looks really good. Okay, this Grenadier's sword has a big chunk of metal hanging off of it. Oh, that looks like that took care of it. Because you have the leg here, right? And then you have like if this was the leg and this was the sword, there was like a big chunk of metal like just right in there. Had to cut that out. Easier to clip it out than to cut it out. But that's what you got to do on all your models. Got to look around. Any gaps might be filled with metal. Got to clean that out. Or if there's lines. If you are a potential customer of mine and you're thinking about commissions or something like that, let me tell you that I do this with every model I work on, not just my personal models. If I've got a commission, I will take your models and I will individually go over them trimming, straightening, and correcting mistakes from the molds to the best of my ability. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I will try to clean them up. I'll also wash them. You didn't really get a chance to see the wash. I think I did a video a long time ago about me washing models. It's part of my 101 to painting models, I think. One of the first couple of videos, how I wash them. What I normally do, just to tell you what I do, is I'll take a bowl, like a cereal bowl. I have a couple of bowls that I use only for washing, and I keep them on my shelf. I will take about a battalion or two, and I will put them in the bowl, and then I use hand soap. I will do a couple of squirts of hand soap into the bowl with the metal, and then I'll put them under warm running water, and fill the bowl up till it goes over the level of the metal. So if the metal is piled up at the bottom of the bowl, I'll fill up the water so that it's right above the metal. And then what I'll do is I'll take a paintbrush, a house paintbrush, usually about a 1-inch brush, and I'll agitate the models slowly. Actually, sometimes if I'm doing multiple figure bowls, what I'll do is I'll let the first bowl soak a little bit while I'm preparing the second bowl. So it'll actually soak up the soap and water. And then I'll agitate it, like a washing machine. I'll get in there and I'll go both ways, and I'll flip the models over and try to get a thorough agitation. But at the same time, I'm using the bristles of the brush to rub the models gently, vigorously, gently. I don't know. Because the brush that I use, the paintbrush, it's really got soft bristles. It's kind of like not a nylon. What's the word I'm looking for? Synthetic bristles. It's not horsehair or anything. And it's pretty soft, actually. And it's not going to damage any plastic or metal models. What I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to clean the models, or I'm not trying to get dirt off of them or anything like that. What I'm doing is wiping my nose. No, what I'm doing is I'm trying to loosen the mold release powder that is still on your models. Because when you buy a brand new model out of the bag has mold release inside that's come off your models. It's also the models themselves have mold release on them from the mold process, because they weren't washed at the factory, right? They were just taken out of the mold and thrown in a bag. And so your model will have this talcum-like powder all over them, and specially formulated to let your lead or plastic break away from whatever mold they're in easier, without damaging the model and all that. And so I'm trying to wash that off. And sometimes once I rinse out the water, like pour the water back into the sink, I'll add another couple of squirts of soap, and then I'll fill the thing up with water again, and then I'll do the agitation. So sometimes I'll do that 2 or 3 times until I feel like the models had a good thrashing, like these. I did these like 2 times. And then once that happens, then I will repeatedly dump the water out and refill the water without adding any more soap. But there still will be soap residue in there, and the soap residue is almost as bad as the mold release. So I do probably twice as many rinse jobs where I'm just like, I'll put water in, I'll stir it up. If it starts to bubble up some more, I know that there's still some soap in there. And so then I'll dump it out, I'll fill it with water again, I'll stir it up, and if it continues to bubble up, I'll say, okay, there's still some soap. I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again until it stops bubbling, until the water stays clear and I don't see any mold release in the water or any soap residue. Once that happens, then I do one last rinse, dump it out, and then I take all the figures and I dump them out onto a towel. I dry them off on a towel usually before I put them back in the bowl and carry them into here. Now, of course, they're not completely dry because down in their little cracks and stuff, there's still water. Sometimes I'll blow on them. Something you might do that I don't possess, and I've considered buying one just for this purpose, is a hair dryer or a heat gun. Maybe a heat gun or a hair dryer, and then you just blow on your figures to dry them off, right? But I have never really felt the need for speed. I don't mind waiting a few extra minutes for them to just dry naturally. But if I was doing a assembly line with a crew of guys doing models, and one guy was responsible for washing the models, he might be also responsible for drying them for the next guy to clean them. But I'm not that big of a project. This is not an assembly line. This is me doing it casually and thoroughly and completely, like there is some down in between his arms. Okay, there we go. Okay, this guy's underarm, like his arm, but under it did have a mold line. Hey, a drummer. Now, Voltagear companies, and I would even think maybe the light regiments might have buglers with the French horn or whatever. But some of them had drums, like the regiment would have a drummer, but the companies would have buglers, I do believe. And this drum has got a serious piece of flash. Okay, it's gone. Other than that, he looks good. Yeah, this whole regiment, these 2 battalions, they're going to have a ton of guys. And I'm glad I'm using 20 millimeter depth bases too. Because these guys are lunging forward like they're running. That's not mold release, mold line. That is sling. I haven't really seen any camel covers. Camel covers. What am I talking about? Shako covers, because that's usually worn when they have their gray coats. None of these guys are wearing gray coats, except that one officer and one standard bearer. But everybody else is wearing their campaign dress, which is good. This regiment's going to look good because they're going to have all blue uniforms. And I'm digging it. Blue pants, too, because the light regiments wore blue pants. And because of that, I'm thinking I'm going to prime them white. I normally prime... Well, I had been priming in the past gray or black even. I made a big change with my World War II and my Ancients. I started priming brown because it really makes like armor stand out really well. These guys aren't wearing any kind of armor, but they do need some brighter colors like blue and greens and reds and yellows. So maybe I prime white. Okay, I'm looking all over this guy. Yeah, okay. Trying to get that mold line off the top of the Shako. And the reason why I wash is to get that mold release off. But you don't forget, your plastic models also have a mold release. So technically, you really should wash your plastic models. And in that case, just wash them while they're on their sprue. Just take the whole sprue, put it in a sink. Put some water in a sink and put a little soap in the water. And then you don't even have to agitate them. Just take your sprue, hold it in your hand, and take that brush and just, maybe even a toothbrush or a paintbrush, and just scrub them down real good. Just get that mold release off, and then rinse them off really good so you don't leave any of the soap residue on the model. And then once you do that, you're good to go, because once you cut them off of their sprue, wherever you cut them off obviously didn't have any mold release because it was plastic. You know, so you don't have to worry about that. I think there's a couple of models in here that might be a different brand, because they just feel like these Grenadiers. There's like a handful of Grenadiers in here that just feel different. Because I have gone through a bunch of different brands of models, and I might have piled them all. I think what I did was I took all the models that I had from whatever brand it was and made a big pile, and then went through there and organized them into their regiments. Like Zeiston or uh, minifigs or Essex or what is it, Merleton or Kurosawa or what's that other brand? There's another brand I'm trying to remember one that these might be. But 90% of these models are Old Glory. I really swear by Old Glory. I think they do a bang up job on their models. They've got a good chunkiness to them. They've got a little bit of, they're a little swole, which I like. I don't like them too swole. Like Essex are just too big. And minifig are usually too thin. And I really wish there was a plastic 15 millimeter company. I really wish there was. Warlord almost did it with their 13.5 millimeter, but they're not 15s. I really wish they were. If they had made 15 millimeter, if their epic scale was 15 millimeter, I would have bought all of their epic stuff, all their boxes. I'd be playing Black Powder Epic in 15 millimeter. Okay, all the trimming is done. Now I just got to get their bases squared away. The sale we got going on at my eBay store this month, it's going to be till I think February 9th, is free shipping on any order over $40. Whoa, he stands. I find that hard to believe. Okay. When there's glue, he's going to have no problem standing. Okay, that's good. Now you can see I just dragged the model across the... You can't see. But what I'm doing is I'm dragging the model across the file to because a lot of times the bases will also be split how the mold is, and you'll have like a left and a right side of the mold, and there'll be huge differences, or there'll just be a center line with a burr, and I'm getting rid of the center line and the burr. And I don't see how this guy could stand. Yeah, he can't stand. So he's going to need assistance. And yes, I do this with all of my models. I mean, all my commission models. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just lining them up in groups of 4, just so that I can see if I've got all the bases. Now, I only counted 1 drummer in both of these. And I think I only counted 1 officer. And 1 standard bearer. Okay, so maybe 2nd Battalion doesn't have a standard. We'll see. Okay, he stands, but he wobbles. Okay, that looks better. Weebles wobble, and they do fall down. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, here's an officer with a bicorn. Okay, now here's what's called an attendant, or there's a name for him, damn it. He's a standard guard, like he goes with the flag. Got pistols and a halberd. Looking for other officer types. I don't see them. Okay. Well, I see a guy here pointing. I'm probably going to snip that off. Hold on. He almost looks like he could be in command. These grenadiers with bearskin caps look like they're from a different manufacturer, and they all have the exact same pose, which is not unusual for like a different a different like element in a battalion to all have the same pose. But that one command group is kind of disconcerting to me a little bit. These are lights, and lights probably they didn't carry a lot of flags, probably. But not having a flag in a battalion kind of just makes me freak out a little bit. Now, what probably happened was, no, I probably went through all of my command elements, and I was probably short one. And so I just didn't put it. I decided that it was probably best if this unit didn't have one. I don't know if you can see this, it might be off camera, but I will drag and then I'll take it and I'll look at the bottom to see if it's flat enough, and then I'll try standing it up. And I'm having a hard time standing this guy up. Okay, there he goes. Yep. And it's not like a heavy pressure or anything. I'm really just letting the file do all the work. I'm just sitting it on there flat and then just rubbing it along the edge and letting the file do the work. And I don't think this guy's going to stand up no matter what. Yeah. He's going to be one of those leaners. Leaner wiener. Because he's charging. Not only is he leaning forward, but he's got this bayonet sticking 10 feet out in front of him. There's no way he's got any kind of base balance. Oh, what? He has base balance. Now sometimes when I drag it across the file, I will lean it, like instead of just laying it flat, sometimes I'll tilt it a little bit. That's exaggerating. But sometimes I'll tilt it a little bit, hoping that will impact how it cuts, and then also how the figure stands or rests on the table with a little bit cut from the back. Maybe it'll lean or help it lean a little bit further back. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Now I received an Old Glory order that I've inventoried and made sure everything they shipped me was in the box, which it is. So that's good. That's 100%. I took 3 blisters or 3 bags out of the box for my personal collection, like French horse limbers, enemies of the triumvirate. So now I actually have the triumvirate and enemies of the triumvirate. And then finally, generals of the Second Punic Wars. I don't know if I really need them. I just wanted them. But everything else, like the Dutch Belgians and the what's in that? Mostly French. No, that's not true. Mostly Continental and Hessians, actually, I think is the majority of that box. So I was going to post them up last night and got carried away. Made some videos. I made there's 2 videos I uploaded this morning, which was my store news update. That's live. And my Napoleonic project update, which I've reworded now. It's now called my Marshals and Generals Napoleonic project update. So I'm going to have 2 types of videos for my project. One is going to be the overall project with miniatures and everything, and the other one is going to be my dev blog, which is going to be rule specific. It's only going to focus on the rules themselves. But the miniature update will also include any rules like ideas and just update, really. It's really more like an update. So you have update and then you have the blog. The blog is me live actually working through problems on screen and typing it into my Google Doc. By deciding to do, now it's kind of like a double-edged sword. By deciding to do it live on camera, typing it up, etc., what it's done for me is it's helped me work through problems, because it forces me to sit down for an hour and a half to 2 hours and just work through a problem. Because what I have a tendency to do is to think about it and not act upon it. So like right now, I'm thinking about, or not right now, but right before the stream started, I was thinking about not using the dice, not using the cards. How am I going to do the command ranges and movement rates? And what does it mean to be activated, etc. And before I did the dev blog, I would have just committed that to memory, and I would have thought to myself, when I get around to it, I'll work out the details and I'll type it up. And a lot of times I would never get around to it, if that makes sense. So it would just ruminate in the back of my memory. And this dev blog forces me to kind of commit, or to at least jot it down and work through the numbers, the ranges, the movement speeds, stuff like that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it kind of makes me commit. And by committing and putting it down on paper, that helps me with other areas of the game because then I can go back and refer to what I put down already. Now, I'm not going to change the version from version 0.3. I'm going to leave it at 0.3 until I decide to make a major change. Or until I get most of it hashed out, and then if I decide I'm going to make a major change or something. But every time I change something doesn't change the version, is what I'm thinking. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is a major change. Technically, it is. But I really hadn't hashed out version 2 either, so I'm still kind of working on version 0.3. Yeah, no matter how much filing or how much smoothing, some of these models just are not going to stand up. Because of their pose, they're leaning too much. So I was playing this game, right? It's a hotel management game. I didn't realize what kind of game it was. It was like 99 cents on Steam or something like that. It might have even been free. I saw it and I was like, you know what? It's free or it's only 99 cents. Let me go ahead and get it. Because when I got it, I thought it was a murder mystery, like whodunit kind of game. And I thought, like Clue or something. They're talking about, this hotel and there's some mystery and, can you figure out who the murderer is and stuff like that. And that's what I thought the game was. So I got it. I started playing it. And it's kind of an RPG, not even an RPG. It's kind of like a storybook game where you're the son of a hotel owner, and then he dies, and you take over the hotel. He dies in a car crash because of a heart attack or something like this. But, you don't know. He was in good health or whatever. There's no way he had a heart attack. And so murder with mysterious consequences, or things behind it. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is pretty cool. Let's keep going. And then I take over the hotel, and then the game kind of changes. It's still a story-driven game, right? And the game asks me, do you want to just play the story, or do you want to manage the hotel, which is the intent of the game, which is what they want you to do, is manage the hotel. And I'm like, that sounds fun. Let's do that. And then, oh my God. Well, first of all, at first, I was like, this is way too much. This is too much BS. I just wanted to solve a mystery. But now I've got to, make sure that I've got the right employees. I got to pay them every week. And then I've got to make sure they have enough rest between their shifts. Because as they work in their departments, they lose energy, and then when they get so low on energy, they can't work anymore. And so you have to give them breaks, and not every employee can work in every department. Like, one of them can work in the gym, and they can work in the hotel, the restaurant, but they can't work in and they can work in the sauna, but they can't work security, and they can't work in the bar. And so you got to pick and choose who's working where, and then you got to rotate them out so that they can take a break, so they don't get burnt out. And then you have this maintenance value, and you have this cleanliness value. I think I got one extra figure. Nope, I only put 3 up there. There should be a 4th. Okay, so I got the perfect number of figures. So now I have to do all this management of a hotel to make money, to pay the bills, and then you got hotel guests that come into the hotel that you have to accommodate. So one of them wants to go to the gym, so you got to make sure that there's somebody in the gym to take care of them. Another one wants to go to the pool, so you got to make sure you have a lifeguard. And then one of them wants to go to the restaurant, so you got to make sure you've got somebody working in the restaurant. I didn't know I was going to have to do all this. And so I'm like, this is a little overwhelming. And every night or in the daytime, you can go exploring the grounds of the hotel, and you might find clues to your father's death, or you go into town and talk to the sheriff and stuff like this. So there's a lot of that too, which is really what I was expecting. I really wasn't expecting the management of the hotel. But after I played an hour or 2 of this game, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to play more. I want to manage this hotel. I got to make it succeed. So it's like something manor or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let me see what else happens. Because sometimes the guests will give you clues to what's in the woods, or they'll tell you that you got to go talk to this other hotel owner because he might know something, or whatever. It's an RPG, pick and choose your adventure kind of thing. It's not first person or anything like that. It's just point and click. Click, 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 click. Assign, my employees to these areas, and then I manage the employees. I either check in on the guests, check in on the employees, or go exploring in the city or town. It's really only got a few places to go. or do nothing, or what was the other one? Go to bed, or and oh, we just recently got a trainer that's training them up on their skills in their departments, but they're pretty much already max level anyway. So this trainer came in at the late time. But like my dad's best friend apparently works in one of the other hotels, and once a week his trainer comes over to our hotel and helps out. So it's weird. It's a long story. Okay, so they're pretty much squared away. Yes, I only have one command staff per for 2 battalions. Okay. Let me try to figure this out. We're going to go bearskin caps and coal packs. Coal pack, bearskin caps, and everybody else. Bearskins, everybody else. Surprise, surprise, the skirmishers have coal packs on. Yeah, I thought he had a coal pack. And I'm thinking 4 of each. 4 in each battalion. Try to mix the poses up a little bit. Some of these guys are reloading. And the grenadiers look like they are worked out. Oh, there's one. And the lights look like they're worked out. One each, okay. Everybody else looks like they're fairly similar poses, so it wouldn't really behoove me to worry about it. On the rest of them. And there's a guy, pointing like he's an officer. I'm definitely going to put him in the 2nd battalion. I could probably split the command between 2 battalions. Like maybe put this attendant with him, but the attendant should be with the flag. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to put this one guy in another battalion. And the rest of them all look good. Okay. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go tinkle, and then I'll be right back. I'm just doing the pee-pee dance right now. So give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I grabbed my Old Glory invoice that was over there on the miniatures. I got Enemies of the Triumvirate, First and Second Triumvirate, which this is all on sale here. Second Punic War Generals, and then AWI. I got British Grenadiers, British Light Infantry, British Line. I got Continental Hunting Shirts, British Line March Attack, Continental Line Full Dress, Soft Caps, Continental Line Full Dress, Soft Cap Skirmishing, Continental Line Hunting Shirt, Soft Cap, Continental Line Hunting Shirt Bicorns, Continental State Militia in helmets. Then I got Hessian Artillery, Grenadiers, Fusiliers, Musketeers, and Jaegers. Then I got Ragged State Militia Minutemen, Ragged State Militia Minutemen Skirmishing, Command, which I think is British Generals, actually. No. That's Ragged State Militia Minutemen Skirmishing with Command. Okay. Then I got some Belgian Infantry, Belgian Artillery, or Dutch Belgian Artillery, Dutch Jaegers, and then French Carabiniers, French Elite Company, French Foot Artillery, Guard Horse Artillery, Guard Grenadiers, Foot Artillery Limbers, Horse Artillery Limbers. I have to tell you, I kept those. British Limbers, British Generals, Prussian Generals. Yeah. So those are all going on the store. Or, all but 3 of them, I think. Okay. So let's do this, my buddy. Okay. pulling it between my legs just because it's convenient. I pop the top of these little squares off, exposing these sticky tops, because this is double-sided foam tape. .3M. I've tried a couple of other brands. They just don't have the same ability to stick and then remove when I'm done. Now, I was thinking about putting all Grenadiers on this stick, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to do my sticks by battalion. But before I make that commitment, I'm going to pull up the battalion's color scheme on my screen. And then we'll see. So give me just a second. If I do it right, you'll be able to see it as well. But I'm going to change to my reading glasses. Hey, that's not empty. Okay. I thought it was empty. Move this out of the way. Okay, that might be a little bit zoomed in for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to fix that. Yeah, that's good enough for you guys. All right, so let's go to France. Come over here where it says units of the line, light infantry, 4th light infantry, because that's what we're doing. This says there's 3 battalions, but at Quatre Bras, yeah, right here. No, that's Colonel, the main guy, Colonel Vincent. He was wounded at Quatre Bras. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. But you can see it says 3 battalions, 1,100 men. 1st Battalion had 533, which is a good 6-base battalion. 2nd Battalion had a questionable number of men. And the battalion commander was injured at Quatre Bras. And then 3rd Battalion had 536, and there's no notes. 9th Division, 2nd Brigade. Something about that doesn't strike me as correct, so bear with me. I'm bringing up my... Yeah, this is the brigade that I'm doing right here, the 1st and 2nd Battalion of 4th Light, which is Jammon's. But if I go to French Quatre Bras, Ninth Division, 2nd Brigade. Yeah, this says there should be 30 battalions. It says there should be 3 battalions. Okay, all French. Second Corps, 9th Division, 2nd Brigade, 1st of the 4th, 2nd and 3rd of the 4th. Okay. I might be basing the 2nd and 3rd battalion as one battalion, because at 1,093 men, that would be 2 battalions of 550 approximately, and not 2 tiny battalions and a large battalion, because 2nd and 3rd. But when you go to French Quatre Bras, that's saying that it's got 15, 1,600 men, which I don't agree with. 16. See, and the 100th, okay, you can see the 100 has 1,000 men as well. And even the 100th, I'm only doing 2 battalions. So this right here is basically the 2nd and 3rd battalion, and this is the 2nd and 3rd battalion. I do believe. Yeah. Because 1,600 men would be 800 per battalion. That would be more. That would be too large. Maybe there should be a 3rd battalion. I'm gonna have to do a little research on that to figure out why I only marked it down as 533 and 536. Because I have a feeling that maybe that battalion never did show up to Quatre Bras. That's my own Google Sheet. Order of Battle Quatre Bras. Now bear with me. This is a Wikipedia, so you can't trust it. But I just want to see what they have to say about it. What does it say at the top? Battle of Quatre Bras. Okay, so this is specifically Quatre Bras. That's good. French, 2nd Corps, 5th, 6th, 9th Division. Yeah, I think this is the same. I think this is what I copy and pasted. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I copy and pasted to get the... Maybe I did mean that. Okay. Battle of Quatre Bras. Trying to get away from the wiki. Marshal Ney, Quatre Bras, First Blood of Waterloo. Waterloo Campaign, Quatre Bras, Order of Battle. What does this say? Okay, now this guy has 9th Division, 2 line battalions, each of 24 figures. Okay, so that's basically a... Okay, that's a board game. Okay, 44 more rows. Okay, okay, that's the wiki. Okay, I do trust this site. This is a site that has like every battle the British participated in, like Agincourt and all the way down to everything. This is a great site. I love it. Um, it's got a British slant, but that's okay. English Civil War, 7 Years' War, French and Indian War, Revolutionary War, Peninsula War, Napoleonic War, Battle of Quatre Bras. Battle of Quatre Bras. Commanders, uniforms, units, Highland regiments, the French army, what they wore, and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then, like, how it started, the account. Nay, casualties, follow up, anecdotes, references. Hmm. Okay, well, I don't want to get caught into this rabbit hole. I want to just look at 1st Battalion. Okay. So my guys are going to look pretty much like this guy right here, because there's no greatcoats and there's no shako covers. And if you look here, this is the this is 1810, 1812, 1814, and then I think it went back to the 18 went back to this in 1815, which is this guy right here. Okay, blue turnbacks, blue collars, or blue cuffs. This is a variant possibility, but more likely it's this, which looks like this up here. But they did have red collars. Okay, and they used the traditional pom-pom colors. Okay. That's the fighter companies. What? which I think they meant center companies. And then you got Company of Acrobats, the Rifle Company, okay, which we'll call the Grenadiers, right? Sort of. Okay. Pretty much straight up what you would expect. Okay. Yellow with red tops. Okay. Digging it. And it probably looks a lot like that. Green with the red. Maybe not. Maybe this one. Just depends. But you're looking at yellow, which you would normally expect, and then green epaulets, just like your regular center companies. Oh, these center companies don't have pom-poms. I thought they all did. I thought they all did. And then there's the battalion headquarters with the flag. 1st Battalion. Okay. 2nd Battalion. They don't know how many people are there. Looks the same. Looks the same. Yellow with red on the top looks the same. And then they might carry the white standard, of course. And they would carry the red for 3rd Battalion. But the pom-poms and everything else are exactly the same. Look at this guy. He's wearing horse riding chaps. But, yeah, I don't see any differences. Yep, don't see any differences. So I can mount all the Grenadiers on one stand. That won't be a problem. Okay, that's what I was getting at. Because all the Voltigears / what do they call them? Acrobats and Rifle, that's just a translation from French. They can all be the same color. So I am going to put all the Grenadiers on one stick. That way, when it comes to painting them, I can paint all the Grenadiers at one time on the stick. I'm going to have to do some research because for some reason I only have them down as 2 battalions. It might be because of the odd number that equates to 2 600-man units. Instead of having a 4, a 4, and a 4, I went with 2 6s. It's probably what I opted to do, to be honest. Kind of cool that these guys have yellow pom-poms with little red tips. Now, as I'm painting the Polish are pretty much exactly like French. They have very similar uniforms, so that's why I pulled these French out, because as I'm painting the Polish, like, I'll paint their boots and then I'll paint these guys' boots. I'll paint their flesh, I'll paint these guys' flesh. That kind. So the same color will be used to do both. You know, I'll paint their pants, I'll paint their pants. I'll paint their jacket, I'll paint their jackets. Okay, now let's do a command stick. Now I've got other battalions that I haven't done yet that have standard bearers and drummers and stuff like that, but I didn't want to take them from other units just to fill this unit up, because I think I've already done that. I think I've gone, piled them up and picked and choose which ones should be in each battalion. Okay, these four are no-brainer. This is like standard bearer, officer, attendant, drummer, and then over here we got this guy pointing. I'm going to give him this guy, this guy, this guy. Totally random. Okay. So we got those four. Or 12, whatever you want to call it. Now the rest of these are pretty much going to go on randomly. So I'm just going to pick them up as they lay, or just randomly just grab somebody and stick them on here. Not really pay attention to what they are. But when I paint them, I'm going to paint a whole stick in blue, paint a whole stick in purple, and a whole stick in orange. And those would be the center companies. What do they call this pose? They call it charging. Because if they do, I'm not buying any more charging. What is it? Is it close to 11? That would make our live stream 2 hours. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. If you guys want to chat with me, you're welcome to type something into the chat. If I see it pop up, then I'll respond to it. If I don't see it pop up, I'm yelling into the mic. If I don't see it pop up, then I obviously won't say anything, obviously. Yeah, I had the mic all the way behind me. I moved it out of the way so I could access the web. Okay, I love the fact that these guys have blue cuffs and blue turnbacks, because that's a lot less that I'm going to have to detail. But I wonder, maybe that 3 battalions of 4th Regiment is part of the Waterloo TONE, but not Quatre Bras, like they weren't present at Quatre Bras. But they were part of the Waterloo, like they were present at Waterloo, just not at Quatre Bras. And that's kind of what I suspect. Now this guy's got a wound, like no Shako and just a bare head. I'm thinking I might put him in the command element, just because he's different. But maybe not. Not worry about it. Just put him in whatever color I paint these guys. Blue, orange, or purple. Okay, so we got all of our battalions ready to go. The Polish and the 4th Light. Okay, I'm going to sit back and relax just a minute. I need to take these guys out and prime them. And I've decided I'm going to prime them white so that the blue comes out really vibrant. Even though I'm going to be painting them dark blue, I don't need it to be extra dark because I primed them black or brown. So let me just relax, just stretch my back because I've been bending over too much. Oh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what's the company's name? Battlefront. Yeah, they've got some Flames of War starter sets coming out sometime this year, closer to June probably. D-Day specifically. Starter boxes. They also have that new game they're going to be releasing, which is the Clash of Steel. I think it's called Clash of Steel, which is their super heavy tank game. Like hypotheticals and weird tanks and stuff like that. So you'll see like the mouse and the tortoise and what was it, T-44 or something else. You'll see some like massive tanks that didn't really participate in World War II, but right at the end where they were starting their production, but they never actually got involved in any fights. They're starting a game that's going to focus around those, and they have a starter set which has like 15 of these super heavy tanks in it. I think it's like that. I'm looking forward to buying that starter set and then stripping the tanks out and selling them one at a time as a sprue. So if you wanted that, just one of those tanks, like you want a tortoise or you want a mouse or something like that, you can order it from me, just one tank. But I'm also looking forward to the D-Day starters, which I think is going to have like paratroopers and German infantry and various tanks, anti-tank guns, stuff like that in it. And I look forward to getting that and stripping it and selling it by sprue as well. So just so you know, I do plan to do that. I've done that already with a few of the starter sets that I got in, like Hit the Beach, Kursk, and I guess that's Clash of Steel up there. Clash of Steel, which is a Russian one, and then Stalingrad. You know, I've already opened those up and sold those by sprue. The problem with doing that is I have all these rule books. You know, the small paperback rule books. They're perfectly good. Plus, I have the cards for the tanks, which I've got a collection of cards. They've gradually built up, and I've got a big stack of rule books, which I put a bunch of them on eBay, but nobody's going for the rule book. Maybe I need to lower the price because I think I've got it on there for like $10 or something like that. Maybe I need to just say $1. You know, I don't know. Rule book, $1. But I guess most people that play Flames of War already have the rule book. Nobody has a desire to pick up the rule book. That's a guess. I don't know. Alright, so let me go prime these guys. And then maybe we'll get started painting these Polish. These Polacks. My stepmother was Polish. That's a true story. Cindy. My stepmother was Polish. She was a ballerina. My dad got divorced and then met her and married her, and I have 2 sisters from her. I have 1 sister from my biological mother. Cynthia. And so she was a Polak. I'm just playing. That's kind of a derogatory term. But I got some Polish jokes for you. You know, hopefully you're not offended by stupid racial jokes. but we always said, like, how does a Polish admiral view his fleet? Anybody know? How does a Polish admiral view his fleet? All right, so if nobody knows, I don't know. There's a delay on the video to the chat, but through a glass bottom boat. Sorry. Brayo Pinto. Can't reach it. Okay, bear with me. I got things at once. Lean in. There we go, I got it. And as you probably already know, I used to fight with swords and shields and pole arms and axes and maces and stuff like that. Full heavy armor and stuff like that. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I used to take karate when I was younger. I took taekwondo when I got out of the service. Actually, I took taekwondo after I got out of the service the first time, and then I also not only took taekwondo, but I also fought in the medieval styles, and we had this style where where I personally fought with a sword and board, which is a sword and a shield. But there were people that would like to fight with two swords, right? A sword in each hand. I tried it. It was okay. I didn't really like it. I like sword and board best. But that technique was called Florentine, like from Florence, Italy. And it was called Florentine. And we had this Polish joke where there was something called Polish Florentine, and that was when you fought with two shields. Give me a second, I'm gonna go spray these. Hey, the sun's out. back in. It's a little chilly outside, maybe 30 to 40 degrees. And sun is out. But with it being as cold as it is, it's not super cold, but it's chilly. And with it being chilly, I suspect it's going to take an extra couple of minutes for that primer to dry. All right. I know I'm ragging on the Polish, but I don't believe any of that. That was just, friendly ribbing or joking or whatever. But they have like a stereotype of not being intelligent or whatever, and that's totally not true. I think they get that because of what happened in World War II, where they lost because they were still fighting World War I when the Germans were fighting World War II. If you know what I mean, like they just didn't have the technology, or they didn't update their army because I think they didn't expect to be invaded. Nobody expects to be invaded, right? Or nobody wants to be invaded. And I think they got that reputation for being stupid because they were basically being stupid. But we also had World War I style equipment, and we had to change. We had the opportunity, because we had an ocean between us, we had the opportunity to upgrade our equipment in a rapidness where the Polish didn't get that opportunity because they were overrun. So that's just a thought, just thought process. Luckily you can't see it, but I got this big mess on my table here with my Monster and my tea and my coffee, which the coffee's gone, the tea's got a swigger left. Okay, that's gone. Yeah, what can I do while we wait? Because I don't want to wait too long. I want to get started on these Polish ASAP. But I want to paint these and those simultaneously, so I don't want to get too far ahead with these. Oh, you know what I could do? What I really need to do? I just thought of it. I really need to do this, and I can do it now. It'll be awesome. I need to clean my brushes. I really need to clean my brushes with a. I didn't do it at December 1st, and I haven't done it January 1st. So it's been November 1st was the last time I cleaned my brushes. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. When I say clean them, I mean revitalize them, restore them, um, get them back to, bring them back to health. That's perfecto. What? What's that doing up there? This out. My brush cleaning. Coffee cup. Let me get some boiling water going. Yeah, put the kettle on. That should be done in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and make some tea while I'm at it as well. Why not, right? Got this tea flavor called, I don't know if you can see it. It's cranberry pomegranate. Now, I didn't think I was going to like it because I'm not a big pomegranate fan, but I got this as part of a mixed collection. It's not bad. I think it's okay. Okay, the water's heating up. While that's heating up, let me find out which brushes I need to reconstitute. Not all of them, but some of them. I know I'm all over the place. Bear with me. Got this little turntable here. Doesn't look like I need to clean that brush. We definitely don't need to clean this guy, because he's a work brush, not a paintbrush. Okay. I'm gonna clean that guy and that guy and that guy. Maybe this guy. For sure. All of those. This guy. This guy. Some of these don't look like they can be repaired, but I'm going to try anyway. Yep, all of those need repair. I hear him. I don't know if I'll be able to fix him or not, but even if it only like helps the brush, that'll still be good. Oh, not that. And none of those, because these are all going? Huh. Some of these look like there's no way I'm going to fix them. Like this. I should probably toss that. Turn it into a work brush. Some of these brushes don't look like they can be recovered, but we're going to try. Look at all those brushes right there. Look at that. I'm going to try to fix as many of those as I can with 1 cup of boiling water. It'll probably only be about 1/3 of them. And then I'll have to reheat the water So basically, I'll just put it in the microwave. It's boiling. I'll be right back. I don't know if I can carry this without spilling it. That's my tea, my hot water. Okay. And this is my brush cleaner and preserver. This says rinse brush in warm water, swirl brush in compound, and work into lather. Rinse and repeat until your brush is clean. Then rinse thoroughly. And then at the very bottom it says leave clear lather on brush to shape and condition bristles. So that's contradictory. But what isn't nowadays? And plus I'm almost out of this. So maybe I just need to get some more. Okay, so like I said, I'm only going to be able to do about a third of these brushes. So this is boiling water, or, it's not currently bubbling, but it is extremely hot. And I'm kind of rolling the bristles against the side wall of the cup. Kind of loosen the bristles and expand the flume. That looks like it's already pretty much done its job. And I've never seen this lather, so I don't know. And I'm kind of rubbing the bristles, I'm rolling the bristles against the wall of this little plastic tub. Then I'm going to do it again, cleaning it off the flume, actually. That looks awesome. I don't even have to touch it. Set that off the side. Another one of these. And after I do about 8 or 10 of them, the water will have cooled off enough that it's not really doing anything. One quick way you can ruin your brush is by getting paint up inside the flume, which is basically the metal piece that's tight around all your bristles, holding them in place. Uh, if if you get um, so if you get paint up inside there, what it'll do is it'll cause your bristles to start spreading out like that. Um, do whatever you can to prevent doing that. Usually, if your paintbrush sucks paint up into the bristles, then be careful to get too much paint in your brush because it'll suck it up into the flume. So, best way to do that is just to use the tip of your brush. When you're using your brush, only get paint on like the top third of the brush, if that much, maybe top 1/4. And that way, even if it does suck it up, it'll only suck it up into the bristles and not into the flume. Once it gets into the flume, you pretty much have ruined your brush. You can go ahead and get another one. This is a Vallejo brush, which I'm not impressed with. Not at all. Vallejo brushes are kind of cheap. They're not worth the money. Same thing with the AK brushes. Pro Art brushes I like quite a bit, and these green brushes, they're not Pro Art, they're Transin. The Transin art brushes I really like a lot. As you can see, I've got like something break off of this bristle. This has got a loose hair hanging off of it. Pulling gently with my thumbnail, scratching it against the bristles, because the very tip of this paintbrush, the bristles look like they are stained by a paint. This is a broken brush, but the bristles are actually pretty good. Looks like there's soap on them already. Maybe I've tried cleaning this brush in the past. And to shape the brush, I put it in the crack of a joint and I roll it and try to get a point out of it. Okay, this brush looks like a disaster. Looks like Doc. What's his name? Doc, the guy from Back to the Future, Doctor. I want to say Doc Gray, but that's not his name. Is it Doc? I don't know what his name is. Just Doc. Guy who makes the Back to the Future car, time traveling DeLorean. Doc Adams? No, Doc. I want to say Doc Gray, but I don't know. Bristles were like. Now they're not. They're all. Yeah, no, they're not all together. Are now. No, they're not. Give them a little bit of soap so they kind of reform. There you go. Let that soap dry on them. That's a stomach that I had for years. It's warm, but it's not hot. I want my water to be I want my water to be like my women. Yeah, I try to do this about once a month, near the first part of the month. You know, um, I wouldn't. I don't normally do this many brushes. I only do about 10 brushes or something. But this apparently I put it off too long. This has been a month and a half or longer. 2 months maybe. Yeah, it's been 2 months since the last cleaning. This guy's got a little extra hair hanging off. Like one thread is just not a perfect brush. It'll be okay. After this one, I think I'm going to need to go heat up this water. Okay, I lied. Okay, let's heat up the water. Just gonna put it in for a minute or two. Not sure if it was boiling, but it might have been. Okay. I'll let the brushes heat up a little bit. But you got to be careful that you don't leave the brush in boiling water too long, because the glue that holds the flume to the handle could get soft, and then the flume would come off of your brush. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Now this water's got a little bit of this soap in the water. As you can see, it's kind of like a milky, which I think is a good thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the focus a little bit and show you how a brush can actually get reconstituted. Okay. Why not, right? Help you guys out a little bit. I'm going to put it on autofocus. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's focused. Okay, let's take a look at this brush here. See if we can get it to focus. There you go. Maybe not. See that brush? See how the bristles are all wackadoodle? Okay. What I'm doing is I'm giving it a slight bend on the side of the cup. Not a lot, but just enough to make it kind of like, as I spin it, it might be breaking up any connection to the flume, where there might be some paint down in the flume, so that it'll help break that up, and also just get all the bristles, you know, completely warm, and any loose paint knocked off. But then we go to the soap. We move it around in the soap to kind of, hopefully, to wash off any of that broken paint, the heated paint that's in there. Get it to kind of become loose or break off. And I'm also putting it at a slight angle against the side of the wall of the soap canister here. And I'm rolling it back and forth to, break up any of the pink. That's the idea. And then back to washing it off. But not 100% wash off, just 99%. And then I go to the crease of my finger, and you can see it wraps completely around the brush. But I try to go in and clean it up a little bit. Yeah, I got the wrong glasses on to see what I'm doing. And we get our brush to focus, and we get it back to life. I know you can't see that. I know the black focuses better, but better than my hand. I don't know. I don't have anything. It's trying. Manual focus might be better. Go with a manual focus. Let's see what we can do with that. Yeah, there we go. See how sharp it is nowadays? All right. That's basically what I'm doing with all my brushes. Taking them from wackadoodle to sharp like. We're trying to anyway. Now this is a new company that I've started working with. This brush company, this brown handle and not the green, came as a set. And these brushes seem to be as good or better than the green ones. Transits. I don't think this is transit. Golden something. Not golden sable. It's like the name of the company. Golden maple? I think that might be it. Which is kind of the color of the wood brush. Yeah, golden maple. And the kitchen fell over. Yeah, by the time I get these brushes clean, my figures outside should be primed, or at least ready to be brought inside. Maybe not completely dry, but ready to be brought inside. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that brush, but it is like ruined. I don't see any lather. There's also not enough water in here to be considered. That's way better than it was. Almost back to normal, but not 100%. More like 85%. Not 100. Now these giant brushes, I'm not looking. This is like a, I don't know, a 1. I'm not really looking for a sharp point. I'm just looking for not a disaster. Because this is what I would paint like big models like tanks, something like that. Or just large areas of a model. Or if I was applying like a brush on primer or something. So it doesn't have to be point. But I'll take a point. Yeah, I think this water is starting to get a little cold. Not cold, but you know, it's not really hot. It's just lukewarm, which is okay according to the soap instructions. But that's not the way I've been taught how to clean and reconstitute brushes. I've been taught boiling water. Now I've got this like hot plate that I could put this uh, cup on and it'll keep it warm, but it won't keep it hot. It'll only keep it like just above room temperature. So it's not worth it. I don't even use it hardly, not even to keep my coffee warm or even. It's just not. It's cheap. I've been thinking about getting another one that keeps cups hot because that one only keeps them warm. Okay. With a little bit fine tip. This almost looks like a 10-0, maybe even a 20-0. It's like super fine tip. 5 bristles maybe. Great for like super detail that I never use. I would never use it. What is that? I would very rarely ever use it. Have to run straight. I'll do a few more and then I gotta heat that one. Yeah, this looks like I gotta do it again. Got a little piece of white paint right in the middle. Oh, dude. Okay, this guy's got a bristle or two sticking out the side. This one's gonna need some work. I'm thinking I'm gonna need to do this a couple. This one I'm gonna work the soap in with my fingertips and my thumbnail, scratching it against bristles. Not hard enough to pluck them from the flume, just trying to drag any paint that might be on them. Scrape the paint off. I think I brought this paintbrush back to life. I don't see those two bristles anywhere. Okay. I'm happy about that. Very happy. Yeah, I'm gonna reheat this water. I'll be right back. Actually, I think I'm gonna dump it and then get some new water. Nuking it. I noticed it's after 12. Put that in for 2 minutes and time doesn't fly. Yeah, I hope the spinning these brushes in my fingertips isn't going to cause me a blister. I don't know what it is, but my fingertips are super sensitive and I get blisters super easy. That's why I got these on because I'm basically bandaged up a couple of blisters. Staring at it. I think 2 minutes would be enough to heat. If not, it'll just be warm. And we'll go from there. Okay, yeah, that's warm. Ooh. This is Airbrush Tower. I don't think that's a good brush. I think it was a good brush when I first got it. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I was impressed with Airbrush Tower. I thought I would order a bunch more of them. So maybe it is a good brush and it's just this will. Yeah, it's just bad. Maybe. Yeah. We'll leave it in the work. Right. Pro Art. Pro Art is a good set of brushes. Always liked them. Always worked good for me. Cleaned up really good. They reconstituted really good. Um, the downside of the Pro Art brush is the handle is like super thin. I've started to fall in love with these thick, um, big brushes. You know, the big, thick handled brush. Oh, what's going on? Paint there. There's a little bit of red paint. Where that came from? Seeing it on this brush. Might have been down inside the flume. That way I can rub it on that finger without a fear of it maybe blistering up. This one looks almost brand new. Okay, this is not a Ransom. This, what are these? These are the artisan shop. Okay. The artisan shop. That is sharp as a razor. Look at some of these artisan shop brushes. See if I can't fix them. Last time I cleaned my brushes, back in November, I don't remember cleaning any of these artisan brushes. You might not have needed it, or I overlooked it, or I didn't remember the name. I might have to pay a little bit more attention to these because these look like good brushes. Sorry guys, if you've come to this live stream and all you see is me cleaning brushes. You're welcome to chat with me and talk about any subject from my store to my hobbies, games I play, computer games, books I'm currently reading, which I'm actually reading a book right now, which it's a PDF, but it's still a book. It's a traveler novel. Okay, I can probably work with this. I think I'm gonna have to clean it a little bit more. See what we got. It's gonna be a double. They say if you really need to, do 2 or 3 times, repeat the steps. Well, that's this guy. I wonder if there should be more water in this. Make it lather. Oh, look at it. I'm getting a little bit of a lather now. A little bubbly, a little bit of soap action. Not going back to a point. It's very close. Like a flat tip point. Put more water in there. Experimenting. I'm actually feeling the paint slide off this. I think I'm going to repeat the steps. Now this soap is not as thick as it was before. It's actually more like a, I don't know how to explain, like a brush, like a shaving soap. Oh, okay, that made a difference. Still not a perfect point, but this size of a brush, I paint stuff that I don't need a point. This is an O brush. Oh, this is an O as well. Must have got a whole bunch of O's. Because O is a good size for detail and for like big areas. It's kind of like a good medium brush. 1 and O. Sometimes a double O. This one is a 3.0. Bristles are kind of wackadoodle. Alright guys, what I'm going to do now is we're going to end the stream. I don't have a whole lot of people talking to me or asking me questions, and all I'm doing is cleaning brushes right now and waiting for my French lights that I primed, waiting for them to dry outside. So when they come in, I'll probably start painting on these Polish and those French. But because it's going to be a minute, and plus I probably want to eat a little lunch, I'm going to let you guys go. Remember that tomorrow I am going to be doing a dev blog on my marshals and generals. So if you're interested in learning why I switched away from the pip card command orders method to just a command range movement method, come watch the show tomorrow. It's going to be a couple hours of me working through in my head the numbers for movement and for what a command consists of and what kind of orders you can give and ranges for like command and control, stuff like that. So I'm still working on command and control, and I might even do it up there on my table. I might put some figures on the table so that I can visualize ranges, and then I walk back over here and do some typing, right? So you'll get to see me, or maybe I'll hold off on typing until after the stream, but I'll work through the numbers, crunch the values, maybe take some notes on paper or something, and then bring it over here to the computer so I can type it into my my document. All right, so hopefully I'll see you tomorrow when I do my Marshals and Generals dev blog. All right.